It costs that much 'cause it takes me fucking hours. Fucking hours. It costs that much 'cause I don't have superpowers. Superpowers. So you need to pay for my skills 'cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much 'cause it takes me fucking hours. You need to pay for my skills 'cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much 'cause it takes me fucking hours.
UFO critters in Vegas and the UFO whistleblower. Is he for real now? We're going to talk about it with the Chicago Corner Boys tonight. I'm Mundus Ultra.
Well, if there's a thing.
Hello, everybody. Uh-oh, not in the right place. OCD. I am your host, Uncle Warren. Good to see everybody here. We got Anthony, one of our producers, is here. Good to see you, brother. Dabby Dabs in the house. And so far, we have a couple of people watching on Rumble. We are definitely on Rumble this evening. So we are on Rumble and Rockfin and Facebook and YouTube. And these are a few of my favorite things. If you're new or watching this in the future when we have flying cars, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell some friends. If you don't have any friends, muster up the courage to be an extrovert for about 5 minutes and go meet somebody at the bus station and say, hey, bud, should really go like, share, and subscribe to this dude's show. It's good stuff. All right. Else we release the cow on you. Yes, this is not. Thank you. All right, this is not the chicken show. This is the cow show. So like I said, we got our guys here from Chicago Corner, Ed and Jerry. Let me bring them in. Hello, fellas. How are ya?
Hey, Warren.
I'm good. And now I know how the cow got a van.
How's that?
The aliens gave it to her.
Nah, man, the van was already there, dude. They had the cow. They took the cow from somewhere else. But that's how you're saying the cow eventually gets the van, is they take the hippies and they replace it with the cow?
Yeah. They abducted the hippies in the van and they gave the van to the cow because the cow wanted a van.
Did the cow have a driver's license and insurance, Ed?
You'd have to ask the cow.
Narc. No, the thing is, it might have been a stick though. Can a bovine with cloven hooves drive a stick? You know, a standard transmission.
I would imagine they can only handle automatic.
Right?
Yeah. Too much for those hooves to wrap around. You know, when you were talking about any viewers that might not have friends to share the show with, did you see this little clip on social media of this poor kid? I think he must have been like, I don't know, anywhere between 11 or 12. It was on one of his neighbor's doorbell phones, but he was going door to door asking parents if they had any children that he could be friends with. Did either of you see this? No, it was authentic. It was heartbreaking.
Is it real?
Oh my God, it was real. Yeah, look for it on Twitter. And I'm just thinking, like, maybe that's what your viewers don't have friends on to do, is just step out like this kid with his courage, go door to door, ring the doorbell, and tell people you're looking for friends.
That does take some courage.
It does. It does. And the sad thing was, one of the guy who recorded this from his doorbell camera pointed to a house across the way and said he thought that there were some kids his age there, and he said no, they're bullies, which is why he was going door to door looking for friends. It was just heartbreaking. It was a sweet, but yeah, it does show the courage of this kid to rise up from the bullies and have the courage to go out and find decent kids to hang out with. Anyway.
Damn!
You did that, Jerry.
Poor kid.
You know, I brought a clip to the program that I was going to suggest you might want to rotate in as your alternate opening now and then. Hopefully it'll play since I have it loaded, but I think you've got to share it on your end before I can play it.
Hang on just a second. We're going to make those dreams come true, Jerry. Here we go. All right.
Okay. Fingers crossed the play button works.
Strange
Oh, come on.
phenomenon. Missing persons. Lost continent.
Come on.
Strange phenomena, missing persons, lost continents,
And monsters.
myths and
God,
monsters.
I hate my fucking upstream. This is why I hate RC
We
Anastone.
examine these mysteries to determine,
Oh shit, it's that guy.
are they bullshit?
Oh, I know this one.
I remember this.
Are they bullshit or not?
There you go.
That's from I know.
Are they
Okay, I know what that's
or
from.
not?
But what's that from, Jerry?
It's from Amazon Women on the Moon. I'll send you the
Oh,
clip so that you
yeah.
have it if you want to integrate it into Mundus Ultra. But look, we're taking this
That's a
shit
great
very seriously, but that's a riff on the old shows like In Search of with Leonard Nimoy that used to be on in the 70s when we were growing up, or 80s actually. So I just thought it was kind of like an appropriate alternate opening for Mundus Ultra. Bullshit or not?
Or not. You know, that was an alternative title for the show at first.
Was it?
You know, yeah, full disclosure with the origin story. So I said I'm just gonna do Latin words for the titles, but then I said, man, I should call this show like Here Comes Some Bullshit, or this is some bullshit, but we'll watch his shit anyway.
You
But-
know what you could do? You could do bullshit or not in Latin. Just do the translation. There you go.
I guess so.
Bullshit
I don't know.
or not in Latin.
We have to look that up. What's bullshit
All right.
in Latin?
If you're out there in any of the live chats and you know Latin, see if you can get us a translation to bullshit or not.
Google
I tell
Translator
ya.
should be able to solve it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I tell you, if Miguel was watching the show tonight, that fucker knows everything. I'm pretty sure he's not an actual person. He's a quantum computer. I'm pretty sure Miguel is. You've heard about those, right? Those quantum computers. Yeah.
I often think that's what Ed is.
Ed is a
With
quantum
his
computer.
IT expertise and ability to suddenly remember specific facts and share them.
Yeah, but
I
I'm Schrodinger's quantum computer though. That's why I have the Swiss cheese memory all the time.
Got it.
It's like, does he have the answer or not? We won't know until he opens his mouth.
And it could be his processor is actually a 486 when in reality it's probably a 386. What?
I had both of those.
Yes, I had 386 and I got shamed because everybody else had 486. And I'm like,
All right.
my pride was hurt, Ed. I felt very salty.
All right.
Dabby.
Well, this translation from Google is underwhelming.
Well, no. What does it say?
Dabby Dab says, "Fuck, I'm getting old." It's like, well, you're in the right spot here, pal.
If you want to throw that up on the screen, Uncle Warren.
Wait, what are we doing?
The translation to Latin
of bullshit or not.
Bullshit well known.
Bullshit well known. Bullshit well known.
Well, maybe I need to put a space in there.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Ah, there we go. Outnon vitulum stercor.
Stercor. What? Okay, so which is which?
Outnon.
It's Latin to me.
That's probably or not. The outnon.
Yeah.
So vitulum. Vitulum is bull. No. I'm gonna say vitulum is shit. I'm gonna say vitulum is shit. Shitulum. It's
Here's an idea. Let's find out right here.
Yeah. So vitulum no. Both words meant calf dung.
Okay, so that
vitulum
is
the calf.
Two words, calf and dung. Yeah.
So stercor is dung. I don't know, Ed. That sounds like some calf dung to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we wasted time on that. To be honest with you, that was fun.
Yeah.
Well, for lack of content this evening, it would probably serve its purpose. So, anyway, guys, that's fine. Because Ed said before, he said, "I hope you got a lot of shit," because I didn't bring nothing. I was like, "All right."
No, we got stuff to talk about.
Oh, sure.
We've been.
Hey, ain't there still aliens in Vegas?
The police took it serious enough to continue the investigation, and News Nation's been doing regular follow-ups. Although I'm sure, that's also for clicks. But it seems the authorities out in Vegas are taking it really seriously.
Yeah. So let's. I got a little timeline thing here. So, kind of timeline, like a video thing. So, let me. Oops. I know I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. So let's see here. We're going to go to this first one here. So this is from a month ago. So all this stuff that happened in Vegas was a little over a month ago, I would say, right?
It also preceded Scott Grusch's interview and disclosure. So suddenly the Las Vegas alien story became topical as a result of Scott Grusch stepping forward and doing that interview with the Australian correspondent. I forgot his name. Russ. I forgot his last name. Colbert, I think is his last name.
I think so. So this is from June 9th from ABC News. So this is just basically laying it out. This is only a minute and 43 seconds.
The sighting of the alien, though, was in May. So this timeline.
Right. Yeah. It's. I think that's when it's talking about. Family claims they saw an object fall out of this world, fall out of the sky and land in their backyard, right?
Right.
That's the same one. Yeah, okay. All right, so hang tight here just a moment. Let's add this. Let's see. And this was pretty cool. So let me get this started on this end.
It's
You guys hear that
straight out
okay?
of the X-Files.
That's unreal. I've never seen anything like it. What are they?
A family in Las Vegas insisting something is out there.
You guys hear that
after
okay?
allegedly having a close encounter of the third kind.
I swear to God, this is not a joke.
One witness calling 911 after they say an object fell out of the sky and landed in their backyard.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
The mysterious object that fell from the sky, even the officers apparently saw that. The green glow of the alleged UFO is seen on this newly released body camera footage.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
So when that 911 call came in, less than an hour later, police were ready to believe it.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
But after a brief investigation of the yard, officers closed the case as unfounded.
If those 9 foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
According to former intelligence officer David Grusch, an alien crash landing isn't too far-fetched. Grusch recently turned over documents to Congress claiming the U.S. government has a vast collection of vehicles that have non-human origin. An oversight.
Yeah, so that's
now, Stephen,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Dr. Stephen Greer, not too long after Grush's disclosure in that interview, did a very long, I want to say hour and a half press conference, maybe longer, where he basically laid out the details that half the UAPs that we see are extraterrestrial and the other half are craft that have been reverse engineered and being tested by our secret aeronautical agencies, industries, corporations, and stuff. One of the interesting things I found, though, about the Las Vegas incident was that when the officers went into the backyard, there was more body cam video than was shown in that report. But when they went and they opened the gate to go into the backyard, the original reports, they blacked out the backyard and they said for privacy purposes. And it's like, well, you're showing the front of the people's house. So, you know, this issue about blacking out the camera before they went into the backyard was very curious to me, because if they were, one of the cops on body cams, aside from like keeping body cams from being seen, ever worried about their body cams shooting private property, whatever else? They don't. So that's one of the things I found curious in the original body cam footage. But I will say, whatever they saw in the backyard, there was no craft, there was no debris. The family didn't even see a craft in the backyard either. So the connection with what the police saw in the sky ahead of time, you would imagine whatever was going at that speed in the sky and landed anywhere would leave some debris or leave some kind of evidence. It didn't in this family's backyard. So it's like, were they actually two separate things, and it was a coincidence that there was something in the sky and these beings in the backyard manifested somewhere else without any evidence of a craft? I don't know. But there's just so many weird like pieces of this puzzle. I don't doubt that the family saw something, because I doubt that they saw the flash in the sky and said, let's all get together and huddle and make up a story. We're seeing, you know, creatures in our backyard. They seemed very authentic and very sincere about what they saw, and the cops did also. And the fact that there was an investigation mounted by Las Vegas police afterwards, and reports that the men in black were out there. They saw the black SUVs visiting the family. Something, what do we call it on Chicago Corner, Ed?
It's hinky.
It's hinky.
Very.
It's very hinky.
Oh yeah. Well, that whole area is just one big hinky fest. So yeah, and there was a bit of a update to it. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. This is from June 15th. So give me just a second.
The kid himself started a YouTube channel and went and posted one video so far where he testified from beginning to end what he and his family experienced. And he said he was going to update the channel, but apparently I'm sure the family's been harassed by people going to the house. They kind of like gone underground. News agencies couldn't get any more comments from them because they were so spooked and freaked out by everybody converging on their property to see, you know, if there was any evidence or what was going on, or see it in person.
Right. For some reason, it's not letting me share this other thing here. Give me just a second here. Okay. Yeah.
Warren, we can't let you show that. We can't let you show that thing. You're not supposed to know that we exist. You can't do it, man.
It's Chuck the Alien.
Yeah. My name's Chuck. I deliver. I'm an intergalactic pizza delivery guy.
Pizza delivery alien.
You know, we basically decided to start a business since, you know, everybody was basically coming here from other places in the galaxy just for the pizza on Earth, because nobody anywhere else, no other planet has pizza. It's an incredible delicacy, and so I capitalized on it, and so I deliver pizza. But you can't mess up my gig, Warren. You can't be showing evidence that we exist. Otherwise, then they're going to start putting all kinds of weird toppings on that pizza.
So,
and it's going to ruin it.
You were delivering extraterrestrial pizza to Earth, or you were picking up and taking pizza back?
No, we picking up from Earth.
I see. Okay.
Like all the Earth varieties. Yeah, because Earth toppings are amazing on pizza, but if we start letting people know we exist, they're going to start catering to alien tastes, and they're going to mess up pizza. I mean, you guys have this thing where people freaking out about pineapple. Can you imagine when all the alien pickles or alien bananas start ending up on top of your pizzas because you guys had to know that aliens exist? It'll ruin it.
Alien Banana was the name of my character in this softcore porn I did for the History Channel that never aired. So it's really softcore.
Alien, I bet it was really softcore. That's what she said.
It was in a pool. There was a lot of water.
From chicka wow wow.
Wait, this ain't that kind of show. Anyway.
Oh, that's right. This is more serious. Okay. I gotta go because I got delivery orders just piling up over here. So I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, quit abducting Ed.
Hey,
that poor guy.
Hey,
even though he loves it.
Right now.
You know where you went, you salty little sailor. You know exactly where you went. You went up to see your buddies up in the spaceship.
I got abducted again.
He's abducted. He's possessed. The fun never ends with Ed over there.
Yeah, I don't know how you can sit there and just be proud of yourself, Ed. As a matter of fact, I don't know how you can sit there, period, after what they did to you.
So I'm curious, when you are possessed by the spirit of Peg Leg Sullivan, does he leave? Are you left in an ectoplasmic funk on your body? And when you check the alien visits, is there any evidence of questionable probes?
Well, some of you watching Mundus Ultra don't know about Peg Leg Sullivan. He was accused of causing the Great Chicago Fire. Right. And he'd been haunting me for a while now.
Yeah. He haunts our show. He takes over Ed's video stream.
Yeah. The only kind of effect I have after a visit from Peg Leg is I have a taste for chocolate milk.
Okay.
For some reason.
But you didn't answer the question about the alien probes after Chuck the Alien.
As far as I can tell, nothing's been probed.
Nothing is uncomfortable.
Nothing feels out of the ordinary.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right. Maybe so, or as we say here, that was a good weekend. So good for you, Ed. So, you know, they call him George Knapp, but he doesn't sleep on aliens, folks. He's the man, the Vegas legend who has been.
I would call him the Carl Kolchak of Las Vegas.
He is. He is the Kolchak of Las Vegas. That's exactly who he is. Perfect. Because he's been investigating high strangeness in the desert out there for years, being with the Vegas TV stations out there. So this is him. He's just kind of updating this story from I think it's like a couple of weeks, not after the actual incident, but after that first report that was on the 9th, I think. So maybe it's like a week later or so. But I always like George Knapp from the Coast to Coast AM days. You know what I mean? All right, so let me get this going. Now, this is a little bit on the lengthy side. It's about 5 minutes. So if you guys want me to stop at some point, you want to comment, just let me know, okay?
Yep.
It was the streak seen across the sky, now seen around the world. This, as our 8 News Now investigators confirm, Metro actually set up cameras at this home where a family called 911 claiming to see aliens in their backyard. And tonight, a fierce debate is underway about the legitimacy of an alleged UFO crash. Good evening, I'm Janice Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Our 8 News Now investigators reporting about terrified members of a local family who told police they had aliens in their backyard. Chief Investigator George Knapp here to piece it all together.
You know, as with all things UFO, the public debate is ferocious and ongoing. Was it all a hoax? Were we duped? Was it all an evil plot, a cover-up, all of the above? We took another look at the hubbub to separate wheat from chaff. The fireball captured on a police body cam on the night of April 30th was real. The American Meteor Society says witnesses reported seeing it all across the West, from northeastern Utah to Southern California. Another Las Vegas resident sent us a video of the same object recorded on her home camera.
Investigation by Nexstar station KLAS.
As the story of the Las Vegas incident spread across newscasts and social media, one of NASA's planetary defense officers weighed in to say it was likely a small meteor that fell to Earth hundreds of miles away from Las Vegas. Police videos obtained by 8 News Now indicate Metro officers were among the witnesses.
One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious.
The appearance of the meteor seemingly triggered the events that followed. A frightened family called 911 and told police they had 10-foot-tall alien beings in their backyard. Officers responded to the home minutes later, interviewed the witnesses, canvassed the area, and cautiously inspected the backyard to look for intruders. One thing noticed by the officers was a circle in the...
That's where they, so if that video had gone forward, Warren, you would have seen they blocked out whatever they were going through that gateway into the backyard. And now, yeah, so this, let's talk about this circle here. That doesn't look like it's an impact point of something that could have fallen from the sky and impacted and let people out. That's where like some of these, the pieces of this puzzle don't quite connect as much as I do believe they saw something. Mm-hmm. What I'm seeing here makes me wonder if the speculation about these craft being interdimensional, meaning it's not about extraterrestrials traveling here to Earth in a straight line. They know how to kind of like fold space-time in ways we don't, to literally like just, I mean, for lack of a better, metaphor, like Star Trek transporter, they don't shimmer into view, but maybe they are able to bend space-time and literally like materialize their craft here, shoot all over the place and explore things when we see them in the sky, and then rematerialize, refold that time to disappear, which is why we don't see impact. Like here, you would imagine to see some kind of an impact point. Another piece of speculation is there's a lot of sightings with these craft, like from airplanes over the ocean. What if they're coming out of the ocean? There's just so much to like try to piece together here on this particular piece of evidence. I don't know, like if it tells me if it's a craft mark or wheelies in the backyard there. I mean,
some kind of portal tracks.
Yeah,
like an imprint.
Yeah, an imprint of a car going in circles. Because you see above it, you can see that like some other trucks have been going in a circular motion.
I don't see a complete circle either. I don't see I don't see that. I mean, you could see it looks like the beginning of a capital C, and it goes around, and once it gets to about like the third tire track down there on the left side there, it looks like it just kind of disappears or something. So
I think this is a red herring, and I'm almost thinking that whatever flew through the sky, maybe it was a meteor, maybe that was a red herring, and maybe it was just the timing that these people saw these creatures in their backyard had nothing to do with the meteor in the sky.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's just if you just assume all these aliens or supposed aliens are from one place, then then you're kind of not getting the point of the vastness of the universe. If there's one species of these things that can come here, surely there's other species that have that capability as well. And like you said, are they from actual physical places? Are they from, do they come from another dimension?
Are they coming from within our Earth? Maybe these beings are people. Are humanoids that lived on Earth before the meteors took, or the great meteor made the dinosaurs extinct, and maybe they're living maybe they're living in the Earth and coming out of the ocean. I mean, and then you wonder, do all these ancient civilizations that we see, like in South America, Peru, the Nazca Plains, all of the what do they call them? When you're in there and you see like the crop circle phenomenon,
right?
Not the crop circle, but things carved into mountains that look like they were put there
like
by
in Peru, the Nazca lines, that kind of stuff.
Stephen Greer said that Stephen Greer, I think, in his conference said there are not just one species of extraterrestrials; there are several.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you could just assume they're from one spot, then and say, well, they can't possibly, there's all kinds of things, and maybe some like the oceans, maybe some come from an ocean planet, and that's why some of them live in the ocean.
Remember that Twitter image I showed you of the Earth that shows like the portion of Earth that's practically all ocean, okay? That's underneath South America, underneath Europe, in the Antarctic region, or actually between the United States, Australia, and Russia, and down towards Antarctica. And the caption on that particular image of the Earth was like, oh yeah, no, they have nowhere to hide. It's like there's a vast area of the Earth that's probably still unexplored because it's all ocean.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So.
It's they've been trying to map the ocean floors for as long as possible, but that's just using using sonar and using various, they don't have actual cameras down there actually seeing stuff. Now, like in some parts they do.
Satellites to see that there's just ocean water there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We haven't explored. Yeah.
Well, okay. a lot of the mapping they're due by ships too. That's and it's this arduous task that they have to do to, kind of a fool's errand, but it's just kind of like a generational thing. Eventually they'll get it mapped that way, but it still won't be 100%. So, but anyway, there's more to this video. Let's continue here.
Soil. In conversations with us and in a podcast interview, Angel, the main witness, suggested the circle might have been created when an unknown object landed in the yard. Social media sleuths have since pointed out that the circular image has been viewable via Google Earth for more than a year. The family told us by phone they had seen suspicious vehicles with men in black types checking out their home. Turns out there is substance to that. A retired police officer fessed up on News Nation that he spent days staking out the house to see what, if anything, unfolded. What about those reports that Metro installed a special surveillance camera atop the house, presumably to watch for intruders, human or otherwise, or overzealous media? Turns out that's true as well. Metro confirmed as much in a statement to 8 News Now's David Charnes. The system stayed on the roof for days. What about the Ring camera video with the weird noise? The main witness, Angel, intimated to us the video was recorded by one of his neighbors, and the audio was from the April 30th UFO crash. It wasn't. The security camera video was recorded in mid-April, according to the man who first posted the clip. He doesn't want his name used, but says the recording was from a fireball that passed over his home in a southwestern part of the valley 2 weeks prior to the alleged alien encounter. The family...
Yeah. Is that revisionist history, though? Is he saying that now because he doesn't want people bothering him about it anymore?
Well, I think the timestamp on the video, though, would prove or disprove that.
If there's a timestamp.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like there was, but it wasn't easy to read. But yeah, no, that's a good point, Ed.
Well, the timestamp says 5/1/2023
on the video from the backyard camera.
Yeah, because I'm it's partially blurred though, because but it says,
so that would discredit what the guy said then. What the guy said about the capturing of the fireball in the sky.
Right. See, that's what I don't understand. What's with the fireball in the sky? Is that the UFO? Because that thing didn't look like a UFO to me. It looked more like something entering the atmosphere. What do you think?
It was General Zod, Warren. You are not alone.
It could have been Carol Danvers. I mean,
Captain Marvel.
I just cut that again. That's how she came back to Earth, right? Re-entry when her spaceship just crumbled, and then she just kind of fireballed back to Earth into a blockbuster.
Yeah, but she's like the Superman of Marvel, so she's fine with that, I guess. I don't know how that works, but I gotta say, full disclosure though, I am a huge Michael Shannon fan, and
he was great in that role.
He's great in everything he does.
Yes, yeah, me too. I love that.
I
And
like
he's from
that.
Chicago. We can claim him as our own.
I'd like to think, and he's a Gen Xer too. Yeah, so he's good people.
Steppenwolf. I believe he's a Steppenwolf theater veteran too.
Michael Shannon. Some people may not remember he was in the Boardwalk Empire series on HBO
too.
He was so good in that, and he's so super humble about everything he does. He doesn't realize how famous he is.
You're right,
and it's amazing to me.
Yeah, and super nice guy. I like to think I do a pretty good impression of Michael Shannon, but I don't want to
let's
ruin
see it.
Come on. Well, because he's from Texas. He says, I'm Michael Shannon. I'm also General Zod. So, okay, that was. Bring yourself outside, Kal-El. You get this Texas drawl saying, come on out, Kal-El. Come get this ass whooping like you gonna get it, son. Woo! And he gets his lasso and he starts roping him and shit. All hell breaks loose.
Warren,
welcome to the Michael Shannon Appreciation Hour here on Mundus Ultra.
You're forcing me to bring out
Kal-El.
You're forcing me to bring out my grumpy Harrison Ford, whose birthday it is today. Did you know that? It's Harrison's birthday today. Yeah. I don't give a shit, though. Go see my movie.
He's smoking a cake. He is. Somebody put some edibles in that cake. You said they better put some shit in there. I'm 89 years old. How old is he? Is he 80?
No, he's 81. He's my parents' age. He's like 81.
81? Yeah.
He wears it well.
Yeah.
He's getting around pretty good for an old timer.
He likes the ganja. He's a smoker.
That's probably what's helped prolong his life and all of the injuries he's sustained throughout all the movies. I mean, this guy has been in and out of the hospital for like broken ankles, herniated discs, a door closing on him when he was doing Force Awakens, in and out of that, and he always comes back for more. I mean, he's famous for also wanting to do as many stunts as they will allow him to do, and fly and crash airplanes. So
yeah, and pull a Romance in the Stone and just smoke like a whole bale of weed inside a crash plane too. He's like, that's a campfire.
Indiana Jones, more like Indiana Stoned.
Yeah, I've been called Indiana Stoned many times.
Indiana Stoned in the Temple of Herb. Hell yeah!
I mean, he did a hilarious interview on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast this past week on YouTube. Don't do it now, ladies and gentlemen, but check out Conan's channel on YouTube, and he's broken up his interview segments with Harrison Ford. Comedy gold, man. Just great stuff. Great. Yeah. It's kind of cool to see Harrison Ford, not take himself that seriously, because normally when he doesn't take himself, he's pretty self-effacing otherwise, but generally he just always seems grumpy in every interview that he gives. But he's a little bit more laid back in this extended interview he did with Conan O'Brien. So if you're a Harrison, Indiana Jones fan and Conan fan too, check it out later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why he's so mellow, because he's down with the herb. And I tell you, man, that's the thing, man. It's these days, man. You're seeing a lot of these older actors, man, just say screw it, man. Hell yeah, I'm token up, and it's not like they can't afford like actual medicine. They're rich, but a lot of them are like, no, I like these herbal medications, so. Yeah. So let's talk about this whole thing in Vegas.
Yeah. Let's get back to Vegas. What happens in Vegas obviously does not stay in Vegas.
Right. No, not this stuff. We don't want this stuff to stay in Vegas because, we're not in Vegas to enjoy it. So, uh, I would imagine that area, with the Area 51, not far away, you're going to see all kinds of crazy shit in Vegas. But 10 foot tall aliens, I don't normally like to play skeptic when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I am a little skeptical of them saying that they said they saw 9-10 foot creatures. Now, well, I will say this. If they did see something, if they honestly did see something, then there has to be some sort of like mock-up kind of psyop type thing, But who would go to the trouble of dressing up in 8-9 foot suits? And,
well, let's also keep this in mind. They went in the backyard, and there's a full recording of the family's experience going into the backyard. It's not that clear. They have the camera aimed at those construction vehicles. And you see some movement in the cab or shadows behind it, but due to the quality of the video, we can't really make out what they saw that they believe were 8 or 9 foot tall humanoid creatures.
Yeah.
They saw something. I don't imagine that they would exaggerate what they saw to that height if they were just normal prowlers in their backyard, or just some who knows, they had a lot of expensive equipment back there, because I think Angel does automotive repair, and they've got like maybe some kind of construction business also. I mean, it could be dismissed as easily as there were some prowlers back there looking at the equipment, not knowing the family was in the house, perhaps to try and steal or case the place out. But that when they went in the backyard, you saw the father had a handgun with him. One of the brothers was packing also, and they were visibly spooked. I mean, if it's just normal people back there, you're not going to freak out and back off the way that they did. And the shadows suggested that whatever was behind those vehicles was certainly like within the 8 to 9 foot tall height level, unless someone was standing on something back there. I'm with you, Warren. I mean, I really want to believe that they saw something. I mean, especially with the disclosures of Grusch and the press conference of Greer, I think that this is a historic moment in our world's history. And I think that with these congressional hearings, people's minds are going to be blown. Because when we talked about this with you and Jimmy on Chicago Corner, we were talking about the fact that the first documented extraterrestrial vehicle that I think you can pinpoint was discovered in Italy when Mussolini, in the 1930s, when Mussolini was in power, and after World War II, the Vatican, that knew about this vehicle that the Italians had managed to salvage or put into storage, the Vatican notified the United States of this vehicle after World War II, which means the Vatican, which is in control of all the religions and all of the, magical thinking that keep people under control, have never addressed or recognized the possibility of extraterrestrial life that would totally tear that whole shell game apart as far as like religion goes, and in faith and God and everything else. If there's really something else out there, churches have never embraced or talked about it, because we know that it would shake up the foundations of all world faiths. So 1930. The craft with Mussolini, the United States took it back. Then you had the incident at Roswell in 1951, it was maybe, or 54, thereabouts.
Roswell, 47, I think it was.
Roswell was 47. Oh, I thought it was in the 1950s. Okay. All right. I stand corrected then. But we were aware, or our intelligence agencies or military agencies have been aware since the 1930s, that there's paranormal extraterrestrial phenomenon going on. And as Stephen Greer revealed in this very long press conference that he did after the Grusch disclosure, so much of this cover-up is tied to macroeconomics, because the technology that is claimed to be reverse engineered from these craft could basically give us clean energy, get rid of fossil fuels, solve world hunger, solve housing all of our homeless people because of the remarkable advances in technology that it can grant us. So clearly, maybe the reason that this has been covered up for so long is that the capitalists in our society the 1%, those managing industry and technology and everything else, don't want this technology the masses, because then it would like shut down their long game of this class war that we have, the haves and the have-nots. I was really impressed with how Greer broke down the macroeconomic aspect of this, which I had never considered before. I thought, oh, they're just trying to protect people and not disclose this because people would freak out. Well, when Greer has shared that there's more to this, that we've known about this stuff for years, we have these spacecraft, we're reverse engineering them. The technology can solve most of our world's problems and actually potentially lead to a harmonic Star Trek type of future, right? With all of the problems that the technology can solve. There are those that don't want this happening. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense because there's money involved in the disclosure of what these technologies. And he also said that a lot of half the craft that we're seeing that are reverse engineered craft that are being tested by Northrop or Grumman, these aerospace industries that our president and Congress might not even know have access to this technology. And here's the real kicker of it all. When we always hear about the fact that, what was it, prior to 9/11, and I'm not saying that this press conference had anything to do with the towers coming down, right? But Rumsfeldt, as I used to call him, had disclosed at a Pentagon meeting that there were several $1 trillion that had gone missing from the Pentagon's budget or something. And we hear today that the Pentagon and the defense industries, they never have to balance their budget. They're never accountable for balancing their budget. So it's like, well, maybe that's where all the money's going, to the reverse engineering of these spacecraft. They can't tell us where the money's going, but it's going somewhere. And it could be going to all of the research to reverse engineer and recreate and manufacture these craft from those that have been downed. And I've also heard some very snarky journalists on some shows. Who's the guy who's on The Hill in the mornings with Brianna Joy Gray? He's the Republican. Robbie the robot. People like him are snarking. Well, if they're that advanced, why are they crashing their spacecraft here? What, they can't fly their spacecraft? To which Greer and some others have said, well, no, we've actually used EMPs to take down spacecraft that have crashed so that we could continue reverse engineering the technology, because we already know what they are when they appear. So then there's that to throw into the equation. I've been filibustering, I'm sorry, but I've been like absorbing all this stuff as finally it's out there. And after Greer did that press conference, that extended press conference, which people can find on YouTube, and I would really advise and recommend that they watch it in full. I went and watched Spielberg's Close Encounters, because I'm feeling like we're in that moment that Spielberg fictionally shared in that movie back in the 1970s of, we're going to start getting answers soon. They can't keep it a secret any longer. And also to the point where they say, oh, well, how can a secret like this be kept for so long? It hasn't. People have come forward that have been smeared, have been labeled crackpots, have been killed. As Grusch and Greer have suggested, that's the criminal aspect of this cover-up for so many decades.
I'm just wondering.
Destroyed.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ed?
I was just saying that people have had their lives destroyed just to keep everyone silent.
Keep the lid on it for those who are benefiting from it. That not even our own. I mean, I don't even imagine that our presidents know about it, because Congress is digging really deep now with these hearings that have been going on this month. And I'm no fan of Marco Rubio, but he's gone on some shows and said he's seen shit that, really convinces him that this is not bullshit. Bullshit or not.
Well, the money being spent definitely isn't bullshit. I mean, that's real money being spent on a lot of this stuff. Because I mean, so the money has to go into actually downing these craft, right? And
creating the technology, reverse engineering the technology that they know.
That takes manpower and a considerable amount of compartmentability, because that's what Bob Lazar told us about when he was working on stuff. That it was all compartment. Yeah, I mean that's how you keep shit secret. You keep it compartmentalized, and you say, well, they can't keep that big a. Come on, the Manhattan Project. They kept that a secret.
For people that don't know that concept of the compartmentalization that you're talking about, that Lazar spoke to, why not share that with us, Warren, so people understand what you're referencing?
Well, I mean, when he's talking, when Bob Lazar, who had worked out at Area 51 on this particular element, I can't remember the name of the element right now. Maybe one of you guys know offhand, but that is something that's either rare or you cannot find it on Earth at all. That is part of this propulsion system that you're talking about with this back engineering and stuff. But the thing is, these guys that are working on stuff, they don't work on the whole craft. They only work on very, very specific parts of the project that no one else is privy to, right? So Bob Lazar didn't know who these other people were that were working on other aspects of the ship or whatever they're doing. So
there's very plausible deniability.
Exactly. They could say, we don't know. All I do is A, B, and C. That's all I can tell you, and I don't know what the other people do. I guess, yeah, if they rounded up everybody, then they could kind of find out, but, who's going to do that? They would have done that by now, right? And they're not going to do that.
Internet is calling it an isotope of element 115, which has only recently been added to the periodic table.
Yeah, element 115, which, according to Bob Lazar, is some sort of part of this propulsion system for these crafts. So what it does, how it works, I'm not quite sure how that works either. So
I just noticed Ed shared in the private chat, and I didn't see this till now, which thanks, Ed, for finding this. It speaks to the world religions. You shared, there's a Vatican conference that discusses the extraterrestrial life and its implications for Catholic theology. And Ed, you provided a link. I don't want to open it because I'm worried about my browser screwing up. But what did you read there?
It essentially said that they're having a conference to just talk about the possibilities.
So this is upcoming.
This article's from 2009.
Oh, okay.
So they've been apparently they've come to terms with the fact that extraterrestrials exist. I think I can't remember exactly when they admitted that they are out there, but
they haven't really widely shared that with the flock, because I haven't heard any churches addressing this.
Yeah, there's a quote in here. It says, "The questions of life's origins and of whether life exists elsewhere in our universe are very suitable and deserve serious consideration," said Jesuit Father Jose Gabriel Funes, director of the Vatican Observatory. And and my guess is that they want to know if there's people out there so they can go and convert them to Catholicism. It's a missionary thing for them, right?
Pass the tray around, because God, he needs money. God needs more money.
Yeah, God. What does God need
with element 115? We need some more of that.
What does God need with a starship, and what does God need with money?
Warren, what does God need with a starship? You're gonna get my William Shatner out for this conversation.
That's a pretty good Shatner.
Warren, I ask you, what does God need with a starship? Dun, dun, dun. That was a very undermined movie too. I think Star Trek V was great.
Yeah, I mean it is now. I mean back then though, after Star Trek 4, come on, yeah, well, and then you're gonna lay that on the plate.
I think the larger questions though that were presented in Star Trek V regarding God and the universe, Uncle Warren, are what really make that film stand out today. And they are. It's like Shatner got shafted with a shitty budget. He wanted to do a lot more in that ending drive it home the fact that these were demons that kind of spoke to the idea that maybe there are angels and demons in the universe. But if you I think that film had some of the cast's finer acting moments, especially when DeForest Kelley playing McCoy had to face the mortality of disconnecting his father's life support and discovering later that there was a cure for his father. This is during a whole very, very intense session of each of our principal characters facing their fears. And it's and it was all tied in with God, what's out there? Why? And look, get past some of the cheesiness of it. And if you look at what the script was presenting, it's actually, I think it's fairly a decently thought-provoking film regarding theology and religion and our place in the universe and everything else. And what William Shatner said in the end in Captain Kirk is, what if God is in the human heart? Maybe that's where God really resides. And that's, hey, decent speculation.
Unless God's a supermassive black hole, then he ain't at the center of the galaxy. So that was the thing. They came out that movie came out before we actually found out that was the theory they're going with now, that we didn't know what was at the center of the galaxy before that. So that's why he did that. He speculated on that.
What does God need with a starship? That was a great sequence.
I know, man. It's
you
pretty.
Can't run out to get Slurpees just by being an omnipotent force. You actually need a car.
Yeah, that hood looked kind of rank.
What does God need with a starship? Jim, you don't ask the Almighty what they need with a starship.
Well, yeah, he was in a food desert, man. There was like nothing around there. Wasn't even like a fucking McDonald's around there,
That's
he
true.
Was just, I'd be pissed too. I'd be wanting that starship too. They got replicators on there, man. Make some sandwiches. That's what he should have done. Instead of getting greedy, wanting the whole damn starship, said, just give me a replicator.
God wanted to make a run to the nearest White Castle for some midnight sliders.
Right? Because apparently that planet in the center of the galaxy.
Yeah. You know why they call them sliders? Because they slide out the next morning.
Yeah. Yeah, they do the walk of shame too. They're like putting on clothes as it's leaving your body. Like, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna call you. I'm sorry. But then again, you call the sliders though, because you're right back there with the White Castles. Oh,
they got White Castles in New York.
Oh yeah, they got them all over the place. Yeah. What they don't have is oh shit.
What
is that down south?
Because the Beastie Boys sang about them. Of course they do. Okay.
Yeah, but they don't have. Oh shit! What was the one down south? It was just like White Castles. They had the same kind of burgers and everything. I can't remember the name.
White Manna, I think they called it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't anything like that. It was Crystals. Crystal. That's what it was. It was Crystals. Yeah, the Crystal burgers. Anyway, we talk about food all night. So let's talk about this whistleblower. This guy, David Grusch. That's his name?
Grusch.
Yes. So all this stuff happening around the same time, right? The kids, like that happened in May, but the report's coming out in June about the Vegas stuff with the kids and the family seeing the giant creatures in the backyard, right? And then now all of a sudden you got David Grusch, who's also coming out as whistleblower. I don't know. I'm not a body language expert myself. Although when in high school, I was in the FBI, guys, and we all know that was female body inspector. What's up? You know it. Agent provocateur. You know what I'm saying? What? Anyway, no, I was totally not that. I was a straight up nerd. I did not get anything. But so anyway. What about this guy?
His credentials are impeccable. That's the thing that really makes him stand out amongst others that have stepped forward to disclose things.
So let me put it like this. Why did they allow this guy to say all this stuff? Right? Because he can't show the proof? Is that why he's able to say all this? Because it's all classified?
Well, a lot of people are throwing shade at him by saying, well, why can't he reveal the stuff that would prove his claims? Well, he's apparently been vetting information from others in the military that have seen this stuff, number one. If he has any hard evidence he can share with Congress, if Grusch revealed the hard evidence that's classified, he'd have to run to Russia the way Edward Snowden has. Basically, right. Grusch is disclosing this the right way. They can't stop him from disclosure because he's not showing the classified stuff specifically. He's stating that he's seen the classified stuff. He has connections with the people who are sharing the classified evidence with him. And that's why he wanted to blow the lid off of this and talk to Congress, because it does speak to what Ed mentioned earlier about lives being destroyed, tax money being siphoned. Okay, no explanation for where the money goes. No accountability for the lives that the secrets have impacted, or in some cases there may have actually been crimes and murders committed to keep people quiet. And when it comes down to it, whether you think the American public or the world public can accept or accept this information without freaking out or not, I think we all have a right to know, and those that can accept the information and not freak out have a right to know. This is something that everybody should know about. This is not a secret that should be kept amongst a handful of powers that are probably benefiting from it financially, as well as from a strategic and military standpoint and power standpoint. So I think that's why Grusch just figured out, and I think he was probably also I want to say encouraged by others to be the person to step forward, because he does have such impeccable credentials to go before Congress and say, this is the shit you don't know about. This is where all the money's going. Here's the classified information. Here are the lives that it's ruined. Here are the reasons why it's been covered up. And if the American people don't have a right to know about it, doesn't Congress that represents the people? I mean, Congress should know about this stuff. Well, yeah. So he's going about it in a way that protects himself from, because it protects himself from being arrested and charged with treason for revealing classified information.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, I understand that it's that's all well and good, but but why reveal it now if you don't have something to actually back it up?
Is that is that speaking to the PSYOP suspicion regarding his stepping forward now?
I mean, have we not had a bunch of PSYOPs happen to us in the last few years? I mean, it's probably about 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, we would have said, nah, that's kind of, I don't think that's a PSYOP. But now,
there was a politician, and we talked about him on our show, Ed. Do you remember that one? I don't know if he was a commentator, a politician, or some kind of not a lobbyist, but I forgot who he's very well known. I'm just forgetting his name right now. But he had stated, go ahead, Ed.
Thinking of Harry Reid?
No, it wasn't Harry Reid. This guy had gone on another talk show and said, if we were going to be able to take on inflation and figure out how to put more money in the market, it would take something really, really crazy to get people to get behind the idea of printing more money or making more money.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're talking. Was it Robert Reich?
Wasn't Reich, but it was a guy like
him. It was the other guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh, it wasn't the guy. What's his name?
Well, until we hear his name, he specifically referenced, if we were to disclose to the public that UFOs existed, so that we were spending more money to help curb inflation, and then we could say later on that, well, there really were no UFOs, but then we could help revive our economy, a PSYOP in that way. It's just ironic that he referenced that as an example of what the public could get behind for all this spending to happen and I don't understand how this would reduce inflation or help the economy, but a PSYOP much in the way that people look back to that Project for a New American Century. That was that PNAC document that was presented to Clinton that said it's the United States' manifest destiny to invade any country it feels is a threat, even if that country has not invaded the U.S. And it leaned on the fact that it would probably take a Pearl Harbor type event to get people behind this idea that it's America's manifest destiny to just go invade countries. And Clinton didn't sign off on it, to his credit. And then after he left, 9/11 happened, and that Patriot Act, which was this thick, was passed over. How do you author something like that, a plan this overnight, and suddenly invoke the Patriot Act and then allow us to go wherever we wanted? Which, as we found out later, with Colin Powell's disclosures to the United Nations about the weapons of mass destruction, he knew it was bullshit. They knew it was bullshit. But that was the moment that they could rally Americans behind to suddenly be willing to throw away their civil rights, and that question the draconian elements of the Patriot Act and how American society has changed forever since the world we grew up in before that.
I just want to let everybody know right now, if you're seeing some dips in the stream, I'm seeing it too on the side. No, it's not you.
Yes, we're
silly
two of the
biscuits.
3 dips in the stream right now.
No, I actually really do feel your pain when it comes to internet services and how they let you down. Like tonight here, it's just kind of like up and down. So it's not going in and out. It's just like it's just dropping in kilobytes here and then going back up and going back down. So all technical boo boo ha ha cc poo poo stuff. So but I just want to let people like, man, something's wrong with this stream. What's wrong with this stream? And so that's what's wrong with the fucking stream. So
Warren,
you're welcome.
what's your thought on the possibility of the PSYOP angle to this? Because as you mentioned a moment ago, before I went off in this direction of things that would get the American public on board with things, what do you suspect? What is your or have you a theory on why Grusch is Grusch being allowed really, or is he just doing it and they're like, well, we can't control him?
Well, he's still alive, so yeah, they're allowing him to do it. So it's like you said, people have been hushed up for kind of lesser stuff too. Maybe those folks had
high up enough in the food chain that they can't do something to him without somebody paying attention or somebody making a case.
It could be that maybe that's why he feels he can do that. That he knows he's got the he's got the credentials. And he's not some kook out there just saying or whatever. So, but I'm just saying, okay, if he's allowed to say this. And
it looks like Uncle Mundus is having a internet stroke over there.
His internet stream is constipated.
Anyone watching can tell us which one of us is glitching out more.
And Ed, you shared in the private chat, it was Paul Krugman,
yes,
Paul
shared
Krugman,
the link.
yeah, that's who I was trying to think of. Yeah,
Warren can bring up that video clip where he states this. He specifically cites UFOs, which speaks to the PSYOP possibility.
Oh, you put a link in there? Yeah, hang on a second, boys. We got a little. We don't have that easy peasy StreamYard business like you have. We got a little bit of business that we have to deal with. So, hang on just a second here. Let me set this up. So, anyway, you want to talk about this Krugman clip for a second?
Well, I would only say, and Ed, thanks for finding it and identifying him. It does. I think it does open up the conversation to the PSYOP aspect of this.
Okay, so.
Ed, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. You covered it pretty much. I mean, it's just that he's trying to come up with reasons to do federal spending, excuses that the government needs to make. And I keep telling you, they don't need an excuse. If they want to do something, they can just do it.
Yeah, they print money all the time for Ukraine and defense spending, which I'm starting to think is going towards the reverse engineering of this technology.
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch this.
By the way, some of you may not realize they just reactivated all of the reservists.
Did they?
Yeah.
Any explanation?
We don't know exactly why, other than as support for NATO, and you know what that means.
Ukraine, yeah.
Okay, so let's watch this real quick.
I mean, partly because you want to put these things together. If we say, look, we could use some inflation. Ken and I are both saying that, which is, of course, anathema to a lot of people in Washington, but is in fact what the basic logic says. It's very hard to get inflation in a depressed economy, but if you had a program of government spending plus an expansionary policy by the Fed, you could get that. So if you think about using all of these things together, you could accomplish a great deal. I mean, if we discovered that space aliens were planning to attack, and we needed a massive buildup to counter the space alien threat, and really inflation and budget deficits took secondary place to that. This slump would be over in 18 months. And then if we discovered, whoops, we made a mistake. There aren't actually any space aliens.
So we need Orson Welles, is what you're saying.
No, there was a Twilight Zone episode like this in which scientists fake the
Outer Limits.
In order to
it was an
achieve
Outer
world
Limits
peace.
episode.
Well, this time we don't need it. We need it in order to get some fiscal stimulus.
So he's just saying, well, what if we made up some excuse to scare the crap out of Congress in order to make them spend money?
Yeah. I can't imagine with the stuff that Stephen Greer revealed, though, at that other press conference, that there's nothing to what Grusch has stepped forward and stated in that extended interview with that Australian journalist.
Yeah, I mean, and this is Mundus Ultras. It's not really an economic show, but I do a great explainer on Chicago Corner several episodes back when we were talking about the debt ceiling. If you want to know what I really think about federal spending and why there's no reason for them to be tightening their belt in Congress right now.
I've got to subclip that and put it on our channel. You just reminded me. Sorry, I haven't gotten that sooner.
Well, yeah, if you want to get...
we don't have teams of interns working for us over at Chicago Corner. At the moment, it's just me and Jerry doing the heavy lifting, and then and then Kira behind the scenes doing some of the heavy lifting with booking for us when she's not on maternity leave. So it's
that's good.
It's a work in progress there, but it's a pretty sweet co-op we got going on there. I hope you guys can give it a watch. I think our next show is tomorrow, Friday, 7:30 Central Time.
That's correct.
Well,
you are correct, Mr. Heller.
Yes. So Chicago Corner, check them out on YouTube there. I think I put them put all your information down below in the description, all your contacts and stuff. All your pizza stuff on there too, Ed. I put there Nightstar Pro and all that stuff. So you can get a hold of all their social platforms in that respect. So I mean, look, as far as this guy is concerned, I'm always the Drush guy. I'm always suspicious about what the government is doing these days. All right. So and I didn't used to. I didn't used to be that way. But now I'm not gonna say I'm to the point where, I'm digging a root cellar in the backyard and gonna do the prepper stuff. Maybe I should be. I don't know.
Maybe we all should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had a root cellar. I don't really have a good place to store my potatoes.
Right. And it's like when you grow potatoes, you grow all of when you grow potatoes, you grow all the potatoes because there's so many potatoes. You don't realize how many. Just plant. If you don't want that many potatoes, just plant like a couple of plants. Seriously, you're gonna have like still a shit ton of potatoes out of just those two plants. So, but I don't know. It's the timing. It's like, did Drush say all this stuff because of the Vegas stuff, or did the Vegas stuff happen because they knew Drush was gonna say?
I don't get the impression Grusch knew about the Las Vegas stuff. I think that this Australian journalist had done the interview with him peripherally, and because that Las Vegas stuff didn't hit the news cycle till after the interview with Grusch hit the news cycle. Yeah. So I don't think that anything Grusch, there was no reference to that whatsoever. I mean, it was like kind of a happy accident. Grusch's interview was broadcast, and then it's like, oh, this happened in Vegas. It's kind of related. So let's dump it into the news cycle. But, it should have been covered. But now, you know what it is, Warren? Now people are taking it a little bit more seriously because of what Grusch stated, as opposed to had the news people covered it without Grusch's disclosure, this family would have been made fun out of, despite that guy, was the journalist in Las Vegas we just mentioned, that the Las Vegas
George Knapp.
What's his name?
George
Knapp.
Knapp.
Yeah. Knapp takes all this stuff seriously. Knapp interviewed Bob Lazar, I believe. A couple of years ago. We're seeing an extended series of interviews between Knapp and Lazar as well, talking about all the stuff that now, because Grusch has got the credentials and he's high up on the food chain and you can't disqualify him. People have to take him seriously, as opposed to Lazar that had a hard time backing up his claims that he was ever working at Area 51 to begin with, although he presented some, I think, credible, what people call circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, the George Knapp did a lot of extensive research and stuff on Skinwalker Ranch too, out in Utah too. So, the man's he's been a staple on Coast to Coast from way back So I think he even still does some stuff on there too. So yeah, he's still active and still active into the paranormal stuff around there in the Vegas area at least. So yeah, I always liked George Knapp. I always thought he was like a cool cat, right?
He's authentic. There's no bullshit about him.
Exactly.
I mean, I think
he's
willing to be skeptical. He doesn't come across as being skeptical, but he does ask hard questions that a skeptic would to try to ferry out the information that would actually conclusively, I guess, prevent some evidence that there's actually something going on.
Well, yeah, he's a reporter first and foremost, so that's what he's going to do. He's going to dig in because he's probably like us. He probably wants it to be true, but he's not going to force it to be true if it isn't. Right. You know, he wants to. He's like us. He wants to know what these things are, why they're here, who. You know, just as much information as we can. It's like you said. I think we're ready for it. I think TV and movies have conditioned us to want to know who these people are at least. I mean, that's the way they condition us with everything else, right? You know, they're conditioning.
And I wonder too, everything we've seen out of Hollywood and TV, you know, that's been labeled as fantasy. Maybe it's. I mean, I know a lot of it is also stimulated by stories that have come out in the past that have been dismissed as crackpot theories, right? But I was just watching the other night Marvel's Secret Invasion. In regards to like there are aliens that walk amongst us and they're shapeshifters. Okay, I don't know if shapeshifters is legitimate to think about, but there are people who've said there are extraterrestrials who are walking amongst us. So you know, even this fantasy TV show, Marvel's Secret Invasion, it's like there must be some kind of kernel of truth in the writing that comes from all of this stuff that's been dismissed for generations that might actually have a kernel or a big nugget of truth in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're learning more and more about this kind of stuff every day. You know, they're getting more information, more proof. You know, it's really hard to shut this topic down. So, you know, that's what I think with this guy Drush. I think I just want to do. I'm not going to do like a full on like yes or no as to whether I believe. I just want to see what else he does after this. What's his next move? What does he go to like some of these conferences and stuff like that, or what does he do? So I just want to see what he does.
Warren, have you ever had an experience where you saw something that you questioned that might not be a helicopter or satellite, or you have?
Yeah, in Brooklyn about 10 years ago. I was living in Bed-Stuy at the time. And I was out having a cigarette, and I looked up and I saw this light that I'd never seen there before. It's just a little pin light. It looked like a star. I just thought it was a star. And then I noticed it moved and just stopped, just chilling. Nothing, crazy. It's just like a dot and then, smoke. I look up and then it's over here. Like, oh, maybe that is a star. So I don't know. And it wasn't a helicopter because I didn't see like some sort of flashing light on it or anything to indicate that, that it was like some craft or something. So I can't really tell you what it was, but I think that's probably the closest thing I've seen to something like that. And I wish I would seen something like, that I couldn't explain. I really want to see that.
What about you, Ed?
I don't know. Sometimes you look up in the sky and you see weird stuff and you're like, wait, is that a satellite? Something else? Hold on a second. I got some noise playing on my side of the computer here. Okay. Yeah, I've had a number of double takes over my lifetime where it's like, wait, did I just see what I thought I saw? And usually it was like something streaking across the sky. And I'm like, well, it's probably just, a satellite. It's probably just a helicopter, an airplane.
Or these days, a drone. We know that drones are.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's going to make it even harder for people to be able to discern anything like that now that they have basically choreographed drones that you can hire to put on shows.
Sky shows.
I mean, how are we going to know anymore what's real and what isn't when someone can easily just, set up a drone to do whatever kind of aerobatics that they wanted to do, and then make it look like you just saw an alien spaceship.
I've never. I want so badly to see something that I can like wrap my mind around and say, yeah, I experienced something that makes me really, really believe. The closest I can share though is my father, and my dad's no bullshit. I mean, he wouldn't make this up to like, try to impress us. In the house I grew up in back in the 1970s, he shared a story while he was in the backyard, really, really clear sky. And what he experienced was similar to your experience, Warren. He saw something tracking very, very slowly, and he thought it was a helicopter or an airplane, and he was watching it. He was watching the night sky, so it wasn't like he glanced at it. He had his focus on it. And the thing was like, and he said it just shot up and went somewhere, and out of, the light disappeared. So he knew it wasn't and this again back in the 1970s, where they were talking about UFOs and stuff back in the 1970s, but this is like a different era where there hasn't been as much shared amongst people to try to get some sense of what it's all about as we're talking about here tonight. So I believe he saw something, and that's the phenomena. 1970s, we see helicopters, but helicopters don't boom, just suddenly shoot up and disappear.
No. The two things that come to mind with that, the famous shot over Jerusalem, over the Temple Mount, there's like this light that comes down right over, and it was caught by 3 different camera angles from like way far away, and it comes right down over, and then there's this flash of light, and all of a sudden, whoop, it just goes straight up into the sky. And the other thing is the in your neck of the woods, the UFO that pierced a hole in the cloud at O'Hare. You remember that one?
There was a sighting at O'Hare. Yeah.
That wasn't too long ago, right? A few years back.
Few years back, there were people that said they saw something at O'Hare. A lot of people saw it out on one of the air runways. I was going to say airstrips, runways. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that was a fun story too. That just this hole in the clouds.
2006, I think it was.
They're like, well, that could have been made by anything. It's like, yeah, it could have been made by a UFO too. This is the drones that Ed was talking about. That these things. Yeah. Look at this. These are all drones.
Yep. Giving a sky show.
Right. All programmed in unison to just make these incredible shapes. Just watch as this shit goes.
And had Grusch not stepped forward, I'm sure our authorities would be citing, it's just drones like we're seeing now here.
And they probably still will do that going forward.
Or
if
Russian
they try to keep covering it up.
Or Russian or Chinese weather balloons that went off course and came here.
Yeah.
That's when stuff started getting really weird, because they spotted one weather balloon, then they suddenly spotted other Chinese weather balloons or spy balloons. And there was a lot of speculation then when they shut down. I think it was like northern Lake Michigan. They were on high alert here because they saw something over Lake Michigan that I don't think it turned out to be a Chinese weather balloon or spy balloon. That's when the chatter started reviving the whole UAP UFO stuff, which has now, moved forward towards when Grusch did his disclosure.
I mean,
so Ed, heard in the chat the FAA audio of UFO over O'Hare. It was in 2006.
Yeah. So I just put that in there. And if you want, you don't have to show up, but if you wanted, if you're interested, the FAA were radioing back and forth because they were seeing the thing, and they were asking the rest of them, is like, do any of the rest of you guys, any of the crews mention that they are seeing this stuff?
That's literally the opening scene of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Remember in the air traffic control center where the pilots are like they're navigating these the one air traffic controller is like speaking to 2 airplanes, and they're seeing something, and it's like flight 111, do you want to report a UFO? And they're like, negative, we don't want to report one of those, because they'd be dismissed as crackpots.
Yeah.
So this audio, so you hear the audio. Can we listen to this, Warren? Do you have it queued up?
Yeah, I gotta put this in. Keep your pants on.
My pants are. Oh, wait a minute! I'm doing this.
8 minutes.
And buy for more fantastic content on Mundus Ultra.
Otherwise
here
known
on
as
this program.
Otherwise known as bullshit or not.
Yeah. All right, hang on a second. Let's see. All right, let's do this and this. And
Is it Mundus Ultra or Mundus Ultra?
I think it's Mundus.
Is it sabotage or sabotage? You say sabotage. I say sabotage.
I'm telling all y'all, it's a sabotage.
Or I'm thinking, I think we need to do the name change, though. We can go,
No.
welcome to Bullshit or Not with Uncle Mundus.
I like Mundus Ultra. At first, I had difficulty remembering it because it was such I'd never heard the term before, but it's grown on me. It's like, oh yeah, Mundus Ultra. That's a really cool. I mean, it also speaks to the fact that this stuff has been going on for so long that you're referencing it in a what many people would call an ancient language, Latin.
Yeah, means the world beyond. All right, let's listen to this.
Tower, this is Dave. Hey, Dave, it's Sue from United Tower. Hey, Sue. Hey, did you see a flying disc out by C-17? Oh, don't even start, Sue. No, you're seeing flying discs. Well, that's what the pilot and the ramp guys are telling us. The C-17, they saw some flying disc above it. We can't see above us. Come on, Sue. You didn't see it, right? You guys been celebrating the holidays already on there or what? You having a Christmas party today? I have not seen anything, Sue. And if I did, I wouldn't admit to it. No, I have not seen any flying disc at Gate C-17. Unless you got a new aircraft you're bringing out today that we don't know about. No, I have not seen anything, Sue.
Okay. So this was
Funny
on
that
the
he
day
said, unless
of...
you got a new aircraft.
Right.
Because we know the government and all those other shadow organizations were working on aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Kerr also said that the U.S. government, these shadow organizations, have also been involved in abducting people during the testing of these reverse engineered craft to basically add to the PSYOP element of things so that people don't realize it's the U.S. government testing these craft.
Yeah, I mean, you got to protect these secrets at all costs.
We have obtained the real audio of a government agency receiving reports of a UFO hovering over one of America's busiest airports. Here's the story. On November 7th, 2006, at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, multiple witnesses, including airline pilots, supervisors, and mechanics, claimed to have seen a UFO hovering over United Airlines Gate C-17. It was described as a disc, or in more common terms, a flying saucer. News of the incident quickly spread.
There's this story you may have already heard about. United Airlines employees who swear it was something otherworldly in the skies above Chicago's O'Hare Airport on November 7th.
Several airport workers, some of whom have talked to the Chicago Tribune, who say they saw a saucer-shaped UFO.
They saw one, a UFO. They say it hovered over a terminal without lights before shooting straight up, right through the clouds last fall.
You might think that only 5 years after 9/11, reports of a flying object trespassing over highly restricted and highly sensitive airspace would be met with an overwhelming response by the government. But you'd be wrong. At the time, both United Airlines and the Federal Aviation Administration told the press they didn't feel it necessary to investigate the incident at all. It wasn't until journalists and independent investigators started filing Freedom of Information Act requests that they finally admitted they had looked into the O'Hare UFO incident, but had determined that it could have been simply a weather phenomenon. A trick of light reflecting off the clouds. One.
Yeah, to make a perfectly cut hole in the clouds, that was a weather phenomenon.
Yeah, I just find it interesting that the gate that apparently they had this sighting was C-17. And which dimension is Rick Sanchez from again?
C-17.
Group that filed Freedom of Information.
What's the significance of C-17?
I don't know. I was just going along with Ed's craziness.
If you've seen the show Rick and Morty,
oh, I haven't. Okay.
Rick's original version of Earth that he comes from is on dimension C-17.
Okay, gotcha. Now. The pop culture aspect of this.
Yes.
Request was the National Aviation Reporting Center on anomalous phenomenon, or NARCAP. Official FAA Freedom of Information Act logs show that NARCAP had requested FAA radio communications from Chicago O'Hare during the alleged UFO sighting. This audio was indeed released, and within a very detailed 152-page report.
Whoa, that's a lot of reading.
Yes, it is. That's not by accident either.
Yeah, well, I think we're seeing the transcript of what we just heard.
Yeah.
But there was more audio, I think.
NARCAP printed a transcript of this audio. However, beyond the transcript, not many people have heard the actual audio. After an extensive search, we have obtained the audio of radio communications between United Airlines and the FAA at Chicago O'Hare International Airport on the afternoon of November 7th, 2006.
And why wouldn't they release the whole thing prior to this? Pause it for a second. Isn't it interesting how dismissive those reporting on this were with them laughing about it? How can any reporter worth their salt or ignore, well, why can't we hear the rest of the recording, or why is this being suppressed? And I guess we're going to find out why now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'll do. If I see, I guess I'll back it up with you, but no, I'll keep an eye out. All right, bye. All right, there. We're here, Tower, Dwight.
Dwight?
Yes.
What happened to Dave? Did he have to take a break because I called him?
No.
This is Sue from United.
Yes.
Dude, there was a disc out there flying around.
There was a what?
A disc.
A disc? Can you hang on 1 second?
Sure, Dwight.
Okay, I'm sorry. What can I do for you now?
All right. I told Dave there was a disc flying outside above Charlie 17, and he thought I was pretty much high. But I'm not high, and I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
Someone actually has a picture of it, so if you guys see it out there.
A disc? Like a frisbee?
Like a UFO type thing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Somebody has a picture of it, she said.
Yeah. So where's the picture?
Yeah.
Who's this somebody who has a picture? I got a feeling this somebody and their camera and their picture disappeared under weird circumstances. Hanky, if you will.
What does that word mean, hinky?
Means weird or strange.
I don't like you using words I don't understand.
High above Charlie 17.
Well, it was above our tower. So, if you happen to see anything...
You know what? I'll keep a peeled eye for that.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, bye.
Peel my eye.
Tower Cab, this is Dave.
Dave's not here.
Some of our employees, I don't know if you heard anything about this, some of our pilots on the ground were reporting a UFO sighting at 1,000 feet from the seaside.
Pause it for a second, Warren. This guy's taking the shit seriously. There's nothing he's joking about. He's just like, let's get to the facts, man.
Yeah. I mean, like they said, it's only 5 years removed from 9/11. So, they can't all be just joking about this. There got to be a few of them out there just like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on?
You know what? The ramp tower called me, I want to say about 10, 15 minutes ago. We have not seen anything up there.
Okay.
Because she said it was right around gate C-17.
Okay.
But, and since she called, I've been looking, but we have not seen anything.
Okay.
If we do, well, I guess,
Well, no, I was just wondering. Maybe we'll have.
Can you pause it again, Warren?
Right.
Sorry to interrupt, but I would speculate this was an instance of a reverse engineered craft being tested, because how else would anything enter O'Hare Airport's airspace like that if it wasn't approved or authorized by some kind of military organization?
Well, unless they're using portal technology, which is, again, that's a Rick and Morty thing. That's how they travel between dimensions. They're using Rick's portal gun.
Interdimensional travel, folding space and time.
What's the closest military base to Chicago?
Oh wow! It used to be Glenview Naval Air Base, but that's gone now.
What the
Great Lakes, Great Lakes Naval Station, Naval Air Station, I think, up in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Is it? I don't know if it's in. I don't know if it's in Wisconsin or Illinois, but it's like north. It's up north of us near Wisconsin. Great Lakes Naval Air Base.
Yeah, because these things tend to also kind of hang out at military bases too. So, you know.
I think it's in Wisconsin. Yeah, Great Lakes Naval Air Base is in Wisconsin. Actually, I know that for a fact now. I'm just remembering a friend of mine has a son who's stationed there now. He just so yeah, that's the confirmation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. Either that or you guys unveiled a brand new aircraft that I didn't tell anybody about. But no, we have not seen anything, but we will surely keep an eye out. That's for sure.
Thank you very much.
No problems.
Now this could have been like they could have had this craft already at the airport, and then like if they're gonna test it just to see its vertical takeoff. You know, they could have just, they said there's enough cloud cover that just once it goes through the hole, it'll make a hole. And
but why do it at the airport? Here's the thing I question. Why do it at the airport where they know people are going to see it? You'd have to know people were going to see it. So let's intentionally test this there to do what from a PSYOP perspective? Make people think there are UFOs? I look, Great Lakes Naval Air Base, it's up in Wisconsin. They've got their own.
It's Illinois. It's in Illinois.
It is in Illinois? Okay.
Yeah, it's in northern Illinois. It's south of Waukegan.
Okay.
It's yeah.
Oh, Waukegan. Well, that explains everything.
But they've got runways there. Why wouldn't they test a military craft there? Why would you go risk people seeing this at such an
unless
airport
you want them to be seen? Yeah, that's the only
yeah.
other reason. I mean, that's part of the PSYOP. They want you to see it for some reason. Maybe it is. I mean, back then in 2006, what's that, 17 years ago? They were wanting us to believe that UFOs existed, but they also wanted to have plausible deniability at the same time, and that's how you do it, I guess. All right, let's watch the rest of this. Let me see. Oops, sorry.
Ground Gateway 5668, set in the penalty box, ready to go to the Northport.
Gateway 5668, you can use Alpha and Northport and use caution for the UFOs.
Alpha and Northport, we'll take a look. United Maintenance 44.
Okay, it's 44. Thank you. All right. 44 is going around the Northport. Excellent. You got Eagle and SkyWest over here coming around this way. He's turning in no factory. You really got no other gate holds. All right. Somebody reported a UFO or a flying disc above Charlie Concourse. Seriously.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So nobody can see it, but use caution.
All right.
And that's pretty much it. Gateway 5668.
5668, go ahead.
Yeah, look out your window. Do you see anything above United's Concourse? They actually, believe it or not, they called us and said somebody observed a flying disc about 1,000 feet above the gate Charlie 17. You see anything over there?
Not that I can tell.
Okay. Yeah, I thought my job was stressful.
We saw it a half hour ago.
Who saw it?
A whole bunch of us over at the Charlie Concourse.
This thing was there for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone wanted people to see it, they were spending an awful lot of time that enough people could see it.
Bunch of ground crew, mechanics, and like they're just saying that they all saw it.
Yeah.
So whatever it was really there.
The United taxi mechanics. Thought it was a balloon, but we're not sure.
Thought it was a balloon.
That's
we
your
reached out
mouse.
to United
Okay.
Airlines in the FAA for comment. United Airlines states, "We don't have anything to share on this one," and referred us to the FAA. We reached out to the FAA with a list of questions. They responded with this one statement. As for the reports on that day, the controllers in the tower at O'Hare reported no unknown aircraft, and nothing unusual was detected on radar.
Really?
No further investigation was conducted. When we
Does
pointed out that
it is
both
known aircraft,
right?
Hey, Ed, while we're listening to the rest of this, because my browser will crap out if I try this, but the Mothman was also sighted out at O'Hare many years back. That's a whole other rabbit hole to dive down. But Ed, can you research O'Hare Mothman? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, find out when's the last sighting of that guy.
Right. What if it was in 2006 around this time?
And if maybe Mothman's an extraterrestrial.
Who knows? I'm just curious about the timelines, because that's another weird paranormal phenomenon people have been talking about, is the Mothman sites, which I think are probably just giant flying foxes. But
yeah, we did a whole show on it.
Oh, you did? I'm gonna have to watch that. Good to know.
It was one of the earlier ones, so yeah.
FAA logs and radio communications did in fact document reports of an unknown disk in the sky, and asked whether the FAA still stands by their statement that the UFO could have simply been a weather phenomenon. The FAA responded, "We won't be going beyond the statement you received."
There was a disc flying outside above Charlie 17, and he thought I was pretty much high. But I'm not high and I'm not drinking. Yeah.
Not high,
And that's
not
the
drinking.
bullshit. That's the bullshit. Dave Grusch wants to blow the lid off of. It's like, no, it's nothing. It's nothing. Well, people have seen something, so stop thinking we're all that stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because eventually the truth's going to come out. I mean, like the real truth with like actual proof and stuff like that. It's just a matter of time. There's going to be some new gadget that's going to be invented in the near future that, I don't know, maybe that whatever's being preventing people from getting clear shots of these things, maybe they'll come up with some technology. But I guess if you're reverse engineering these crafts, you don't really want people to take pictures of it, so you wouldn't allow these camera or these phone companies to fix their cameras up like that, right? I mean, if you're being paranoid about it. I guess.
Yeah, I'm seeing too many listings of the site. It's like the Mothman is a lot more active than the UFO sightings.
But there was one specific incident that was at O'Hare. I mean, he's been seen all over Chicago. But if you just Google search Mothman O'Hare.
I'm looking.
Okay, because I don't think there was more than one report I recall seeing several years ago that it had been related to or identified as having happened at O'Hare.
Yeah, he was spotted at a few places, including Chernobyl too. They said that helicopter pilots that were trying to dump sand and all those other chemicals into the fire there, that they would see just like this bat-looking thing flying in and around there. So
I have a friend who claims that the Mothman was outside her window balcony, and this was in a far western suburb. And I'm like, come on. When she related the story to me, Warren, she was crying. She was that spooked by what she was sharing with me from a previous experience. I'm like, all right, I believe she believes she saw something with red eyes that was like hovering outside of her window. That's another one I'd like to wish I could see with my own eyes to try to determine what the fuck's going on there.
Well, a lot of these, I mean, it's like, like I said, it's kind of unprecedented. When we were growing up, of course, the government vehemently denied UFOs and stuff like that. So it's all bullshit. And of course, our parents said the same thing. It's all bullshit. And until they actually saw something, right? Because we all have like a relative or a friend or something like that that's actually seen some shit that they cannot explain, and but have failed to say so for they didn't want to be ridiculed or for whatever reason, so.
Well, there's a lot of money was spent on Project Blue Book in the 1970s to at least respond to the public's demand, or at that time I think Congress's demand also, that there be some kind of official investigation into identifying what people were reporting.
Yeah, and of course, people believe Blue Book is basically the cover-up program, which they'll just trot out every time they feel like they need to start debunking everybody when they start seeing aliens and UFOs all over the place. I'm learning that Chicago's sighting of the Mothman started generally around 2011, and then they're not sure if it's an offshoot of the original sighting that was from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I remember Warren talking about this on Mundus Ultra. Was it your cryptids episode? I think that was the one.
I think it was it was about Mothman and Indrid Cold. too. That was that also briefly
Okay.
touched on about Injured Cold, who
Yeah,
was
that was a
seen in
good
the
one.
area too.
If you guys haven't seen that episode of Mundus Ultra, it's a good one to watch.
Is that what these creatures are referred to as, cryptids?
Yeah, like Bigfoot.
Okay.
Yeah, you've heard of cryptozoology, right? That's just a study of Bigfoot.
I
and
haven't.
these
That's
things.
but now I understand the reference.
When you tell somebody you're a cryptozoologist at a party, to impress them, that's some good stuff right there. I hunt Bigfoots. Or
I'm still curious
Mothman.
about what happened to Bat Boy.
Yeah, Pat Boy from the National. There was a movie that came out with Sam Elliott many years ago. The man who shot Hitler and the man who killed Hitler, not Bigfoot or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy who shot Hitler, they sent him after Bigfoot or something. I don't know, but yeah, I saw that movie. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Sam Elliott was in it pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, beginning back to the Mothman thing, I have what little reading I've done is trying to. Oh, look who just joined the party. Relate the West Virginia phenomena with what has suddenly sprung up nationwide. When I hear the Mothman stories too, I always think of that creepy monster in the Jeepers Creepers movies. Did you ever see Jeepers Creepers? The creature that like would fly, the wings would come out. That's kind of like a Mothman creature. I don't know if they were using that mythology when they were creating that movie, but hey, everything we've seen cinematically in fantasy has to have roots in folklore or things that have actually happened that have been reported that people have just dismissed as being crazy. So maybe it's all finally going to come together and be tied in a tight red bow.
Just goes to show you we've been doing reboots for centuries. So yeah, it's nothing new. Well, guys, I'd love to chat some more, but duty calls in the morning. I actually have a little earlier than usual, and it's also hot here, and I want to turn my fans back on. But I also want you to be able to hear me. So
yeah,
when I turn on the vortex, it's like I sound like I'm in some sort of wind tunnel, skydiving or something like that. So
well, that would have been appropriate for this broadcast. You would have sounded like a robot speaking through the fan. You ever done that when you were a kid, talk on the other side of a fan?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, you sound like a modulated voice. Well, this is fun, Warren. Thank you so much for inviting us on to talk about what's kind of become our little pet interest over on Chicago Corner. Whenever we can talk about UFOs, if there's new or UAPs, whenever these new stories emerge, that's kind of been our little pet reporting project too.
Yeah, and I think we should be talking more about these subjects too in a credible way instead of being like I'm talking about people who are kind of judgmental about this kind of stuff. It's like, dude, come on, all right, you don't want people to be judgmental about your religions and their belief systems in that respect.
Right.
You want people,
interesting.
This is a belief system for a lot of other people. Even those who haven't ever seen anything like this, they still believe, they still use their common sense, and they still believe others who have gone through this kind of stuff too. So,
Well, those of us who are like examining, exploring, and trying to investigate the paranormal, we want evidence. We're relying on science to present to us because we don't want to just go on faith that religious people go on and expect everybody to not question. You have to, whether it's faith, paranormal phenomena, you have to question and you have to ask for, hey, look, man, if there was evidence that I would actually be able to process, factual evidence, something concrete that, Jesus Christ rose from the dead and rose out of his tomb. A lot of people point to the Shroud of Turin as being evidence of that. Now, the Shroud of Turin has been analyzed by scientists, and cloth has been tested as far as how old it is. Some people say it doesn't date back to those times. Other people say, well, it would have taken some kind of a flash of light that had nuclear power to create that imprint in the fabric. It wasn't painted. So, I mean, that's an instance of maybe that is a physical piece of evidence, but there's still so much controversy around what research can be accepted as true or what can be discounted as a regard to the carbon dating of the material and stuff like that. So I think it's great if the Shroud of Turin could actually prove that there was a being that was able, or named Jesus, who was able to like rise from the dead with whatever energy force he had, and that shroud is evidence of that. But for everything else that's a matter of faith and religion, it's like I just can't accept things on faith, especially when we've been told throughout the ages and from when we were kids, have faith in believing in this, whether it's the government or this, that. It's like you can't rely on faith because you're lied to and bullshitted so much. And I think unfortunately a lot of that also can be ascribed to different world religions,
Yeah, it's a balancing act dealing with belief systems and science, and also trying to maintain critical thinking skills. You got to use your brain, and I think it's healthy to be skeptical about things, because if you're not skeptical about things, you're going to let a lot of people take advantage of you.
Yep. Demand evidence, expect evidence, and it's not unreasonable to demand evidence or ask for evidence or facts to be able to like figure out what the truth is.
Yeah. Don't take anything.
Although if a stack of $1 million ended up, just materializing magically in my living room, I might not question that so much.
I don't know about that, Ed. I mean, just seriously, how often does $1 million appear in your apartment?
Right, but I mean, it's like, dude, how am I going to explain this?
I'd be looking for the cameras. There's cameras. So,
speaking of cameras, are we to believe that there were no cameras in the research room at the White House that would have shown who left the bag of Coke on the desk? I think not.
Oh yeah, this is bonus material right here, ladies and gentlemen, because it's like, we disinfected that evidence very well, and then we tested it for fingerprints and discovered there weren't any fingerprints.
And we don't have cameras in every room of the White House for security purposes to see who comes and goes that might potentially be a threat to the president. What a bunch of horse shit.
They got cameras all over that place. Who they think they fooling?
No.
Who they think they fooling? They stupid.
Dude,
Us,
Hunter, just fess up.
They expect
Hunter.
I mean, it's so shameless now, Warren and Ed. How they just shamelessly lie.
They think we're all stupid.
Well, maybe they don't even think we're stupid, but it's a matter of we can get away with this and it doesn't matter what we say. We were talking about this with Lori Lightfoot here in Chicago. I forgot what it was, but some bullshit that she said. And you and I, Ed, were like, does she really expect people to believe this? Does she really think people are that stupid? No. But they just know they can get away with it and not be accountable because there's no means by which to hold them accountable.
And then there's that whole team sports thing where, well, she said it must be true because she's on our team.
Yeah.
Good conversation for another day, but we gotta say good night. So, Ed, any final thoughts on all this business that we were talking about?
Yes, I suspect that all the tornado activity of recent times, mostly that have happened in Illinois and are now happening in other places, are caused by alien weather control devices. I can't prove any of it, but I'm working on a theory.
Well, you know what? I have to have you guys on next time for we talk about HARP and that kind of stuff. And now Russia has their own version of HARP, and I think some other countries do too. Jerry, what do you think? What are your final thoughts on this topic tonight?
4 words: we are not alone.
Exactly. I don't think we're alone either. I think they're coming from all over the place. I think there's beings that have been here this whole time. I think there's people from other places. There's people from other dimensions. I think it's the whole 9 yards. And it's just our pea brains aren't able to comprehend that kind of stuff yet. But eventually we will. We'll have to.
I was telling my nephew at his graduation party the other day, who's totally into this stuff. My nephew Alec. It's going to be a really interesting world that he's 18 now, that he's going to be growing up into and I hope that I hope we live long enough to see some final answer to what we've been wondering about all our lives up to this point that finally seems to have some possibility of being revealed to us.
Yeah, I hope so too. Something, before you take the dirt nap, you kind of like to know if we're the only ones, in the neighborhood. So it'd be nice to find out a little something. I doubt it. I don't think we're gonna know for sure until the actual armada shows up of ships that says, "Hey, we've been talking to your government for centuries. They said we could crash here. Can we move in? Is there a spare room?" That's what it's gonna be. I think it's what it's gonna be. It's like, but otherwise we would have known by now. They would have done the full disclosure thing, and we have to rely on the whistleblowers like Grusch and others to do that. So, but I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. It was fun. We'll do this again. Like I said, we'll do the HARP and all the secret DARPA weapons and stuff and all that cool stuff. So I think that'll be a fun show to do too. So
absolutely.
So you guys got a show tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on YouTube and Rockfin.
7:30 Central Standard Time, which would be 8:30. Yeah, 8:30 Eastern Time. Yeah, just go to YouTube, Chicago Corner. You'll find us, and you can also Google us to our website or just ChicagoCornerTV.com.
Yeah, Ed put some links in the chat too, and we also have them down below in the description too. So, anyway, maybe the next time you come on, be a lot cooler. One could hope.
This wasn't cool. This is a cool show. I can't wait to share the link to this show with my nephew I was just talking about, since he's into.
Oh no, the material itself was way cool. It's the temperature here in New York, which is not.
Oh, gotcha.
Understood. So a little bit of a schwitz over here in Brooklyn, if you know what I'm saying. So. Anyway, let's get out of here. These guys are on Tuesdays and Friday nights on YouTube and Rockfin at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Be sure to check them out. Give them a like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate it, fellas. And I believe coming up, I'm going to have Franco from Frank Analysis on. He's in the DC area, and we're going to be talking about all the crazy Masonic symbols and stuff in Washington D.C. and all that cool stuff. So that should be a fun show. Hopefully that's next week. We're gonna see what his busy schedule is all about. So anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the chat who hung out tonight over on Rumble and Rockfin and YouTube. And have a good night, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.